All right, guys. Hey, proud to be a part of this today. Excited about, obviously, with COVID-19, being able to be a part of something like the Blitz 21 from Huddle is it's pretty impressive. I want to thank Kaylee and my very good friend Nick Inzarella for giving me the opportunity to talk to you guys a little bit tonight about the game of football. Obviously, the game we love, the game we're passionate about, the game that's made a difference in our lives. So what I want to do today, I'm going to talk about defending the run pass option, the RPO. I think we see it growing every year. If you're a defensive guy, you pull your hair out. And I'm a defensive guy, right? And we've heard all of it. You call it's communism. You can't. Offensive linemen are 6-7 yards downfield, and they're not throwing the flag. And we've all been through it. And then, it's so funny, as a defensive guy, I complain about it. And then what do I tell my offensive coaches? Well, run it, right? Run it. Let's get better at this. Let's use what they're giving us. So every clinic I've been to in the past forever has been a group of offensive coaches talking about how to develop the RPO system. And we spent an awful lot of time as a staff going around to different colleges, high schools, trying to get an idea how to defend it. And that's what I'm going to talk about tonight. I think the philosophies I'm going to talk about tonight are years of study, of going out and talking to a lot of great people about how they work to defend the RPO. And ultimately what we did is we took great ideas from a lot of different people and just kind of merged it into what our philosophy is. So that's really what I want to focus on tonight. Happy to answer questions at the end. When I put my PowerPoint up, you'll have access to my email address, my contact information. Feel free to email me. I'll get back with you and talk at length about this. I'm entering my 31st year in this profession. Guys, I think we're involved in the greatest profession in the history of life. I really believe the impact we have on kids is just astronomical, and I'm proud to be a part of it. And I think the best thing about our profession is that no one hides things. We want to share. We want to help one another. Obviously, you have better players, you're going to be a better football coach. But sharing and getting better is really what we're all about. So I'm going to try to share what I've stolen. None of this is original. I wish I could say I'm original. But I've just stolen from a lot of great people that have taken time with me and really helped me become a better coach. So I'm gonna share some of that insight through the year. So I'm gonna share my screen here as we get into this. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. I'm gonna pull up the Huddle Clinic. All right, so we're gonna roll from. All right, I'm gonna share from the beginning. So what we're looking at here are really three basic philosophies. The three things I'm going to talk about, we have more than three. I think we have 5 philosophies. But the thought process and everything I'm going to talk about is teaching, the teaching progression. It's not necessarily system-based, as you'll see as I go through this. More of it's a thought process. It's steps you might take in trying to figure out how you want to defend the RPO. But our philosophy is simple. It's control the box and play a semblance of man coverage. I think most RPO teams take advantage of zone reading teams. If you're going to zone read, you're going to read high hat, low hat. Obviously, that's going to create space, and that'll be a problem. So we're looking at playing some semblance of man coverage or a matching man coverage. We're going to try to eliminate the go-to receiver. And the third philosophy is eliminate the conflict player by mixing the man coverage player. In other words, offenses, RPO offenses, they're going to focus on a conflict player. They're going to try to put somebody in conflict, as we all know, Well, the third element of this is we're going to eliminate that conflict player, and we're going to try to create conflict for the offense. I think the third step in the philosophy is really the hardest. I think that's really the most difficult aspect that we have to cover. So I'm going to go ahead and move forward into this. And we already know what the RPO is. It's like a triple option offense. They're going to try to give a quarterback an out. They're going to try to give him options so that they can put themselves in the best possible case, the best possible scenario. And this is governed by either the offensive coordinator, it's a check with me from the sideline, or the quarterback's given the freedom to make the decision himself. And in either case, that's what we're going to deal with. Our experience has always been based on two different things. Number one, leverage-based RPOs, where the quarterback's going to make a pre-snap decision based on the leverage of the alignment, whether that's the alignment of a cornerback on number one, whether that's the alignment of an outside backer, trying to split the difference on a flex tight end or a slot receiver. But they're going to look at the leverage of the defender. So we're going to have to consider that when we go into how we're going to defend this. Then there's the move key based RPO, and this is simply a quarterback's read predicated on the movement of that designated defensive player. And as we discussed before, that's what they call the conflict player. So the offense is going to really try to put a specific player in a conflict of whether he's going to defend the run or he's going to defend the pass. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. How do we approach, and again, this is from studying a lot of great people and a lot of different defenses. How do we approach defending leverage-based RPOs and move key-based RPOs at the same time? That's really what this talk is going to be all about. So our thought process, I've narrowed it down to 3 basic focus ideas, but really looking at 5 ideas. You have to control the box. Number one, if you can't stop the run, you have problems. Even though the advent of the offensive game has been more spread, wide open, throw the ball 50 times a game, you still have to be able to control the box. So we have to give the illusion that we're not only the illusion, but the reality that we're going to keep 6 guys in the box. We're going to gap out. All things being equal, we should win, but we'll have a bonus player. But we have to control the box and keep 6+ players to eliminate the running threat. The second issue, we've got to play some semblance of man coverage, as I talked about earlier. The man coverage enables a 6-man box to sit heavy on run. It allows that 6-man box to completely collapse the line of scrimmage. And I think that's one of the biggest issues with the RPO. If you can collapse that line of scrimmage quickly, if it's a move key based RPO, that quarterback's going to have pressure on him right away. So we really want to play man coverage to eliminate any kind of spacing with a conflict player, but we also want to be able to collapse that box and apply pressure if they do pull to throw. The third issue, we want to eliminate leverage-based RPOs simply by alignment. It can be done in a couple of different ways. We're going to either adjust our alignment with our secondary, we're going to adjust our alignment with our backers, or we will press a line on a key receiver or a go-to player and try to completely eliminate him from the thought process for the offense. In other words, if they have a player that you can't let beat you, the best player in your state, whatever state that is, you might want to try to eliminate him and say, you've got to beat me with somebody else other than him. So I'll talk a little bit about our thought process there. We're going to have to maintain gap fits while we change the 6-man box. So again, I get back to our first thought, we have to control the box. Well, you have to change who is controlling the box. What players are you going to move around? How are you going to define this and keep it simple, play fast? So I'll talk about how we try to maintain gap fits while changing the 6+ man box. And then finally, eliminating the conflict player, which goes right along with maintaining gap fits. That conflict player has to change. We want to give the quarterback different illusions as to who that guy is across the board. Now, five thoughts here, 5 ideas. We're going to condense it to 3 today. But the reality is everything we do defensively, and not just us, but I think all of us, no matter what we run, we want to stay simple. We want to play fast. It gets down to a teaching progression. And the older I get, the more I get focused on how do we teach the kids the progression and try to simplify it so we can do more while letting the kids play fast. So that's where we are today. So I'm going to move in to our first thought process. Step 1, maintaining a 6+ man box to control the box and play man coverage. So we go into this, we're an odd stack defense. For the most part, I mean, primarily, we're going to run what we call a 3-3-5. However, it doesn't matter, in my opinion, because I visited odd fronts, I visited even fronts. I don't care what you run. I would go to visit you to ask, how would you take away the RPO? That was a focus. So this, again, as I stated earlier, this is a collection of a few years of visiting and talking and listening. So even though we're an odd stack, I think this applies to any defense. So I'll go through it. If we're a 3-3 defense and we get true zone read with whether it's bubble from a slot receiver, whether they're going to run a looky slant to the backside to an isolated 3-by-1 receiver, it really doesn't matter. Our gap fits are going to be the same. We're going to go ahead and close and gap out completely, as you see on the screen. We're going to have 2 A gap players, 2 B gap players, 2 C gap players. It's nothing revolutionary. It's the same thing that we all do. It's just a matter of we're going to fit these gaps in some way, shape, or form. Now, again, if their 5 offensive linemen are superior to our 5 defensive or our 6 defensive front guys, we may have to bring a safety in the box. That may change things a little bit, but I'll talk a little bit about that. But that's what we're going to have to do in some way, shape, or form, control the box. If I look at a 3-4, I'm still going to gap out. I'm still going to gap out with my my odd front, my 3 backers, but I'm going to have to identify who my additional man coverage player is going to be. In an odd stack, as I go back here, in an odd stack, we're playing 5 across. We have more secondary players in the game. It's easier for us to adapt, in my opinion, and rotate to motions and formations out of that 5-man secondary. But it's still at a 3-4 defense. You just have to identify and understand who that man backer is going to be. The same is going to be true of whether it's a 4-3 defense, a 4-2-5. There's that bonus guy. You have to identify who that guy is before you move into the final stage of changing gap assignments and bringing different people. So hopefully what I'm going to explain today is how we do it, and the thought process we've gone through. So we'll move into our man coverage principles. And I'll start with 3-by-1 sets. Again, we're going to maintain box integrity with our odd stack. With our 3 down, our 3 backers, they're going to gap out to begin. This is the first thought. That's going to leave us with 5 secondary players across the board. Our corners are always going to be man on number 1. Whether they play loose man or bump man will be dependent on the call. But they're going to try to eliminate number 1. We're going to take a strong safety. He's going to man up on number 2. And we're going to take our inside safety, whether that's, we call him an adjuster. He adjusts to a lot of formations. Some people will call it a free safety, a middle safety. He's going to lock down, which will leave us versus a 3-by set, a bonus safety backside. And we're going to game plan him depending on what we want to take away from the offense. But again, if we're looking at defending the RPO, we're going to have to play man coverage. So this is what we're going to look at to start. Now, if we flip this and they give us a 2-by-2 set, that weak side safety and our adjuster will simply exchange roles. The weak side safety will man up on 2. That bonus safety now, the adjuster, he'll be in the game plan. He's the bonus guy. Our 6-man box is still intact. They can continue to gap out. We can play games, whatever games we want. But this is how we're going to play our man coverage behind it. These are our principles. All right. So one of the things we talked about with RPOs was leverage-based RPOs. So for example, if I'm worrying about an isolated number 1 receiver with a quickie slant, maybe they're going to run zone play the opposite of how I have the play design. Or some teams will like to run to it and really pull that will backer to open up a window backside for number 1. That's fine. How are we going to eliminate that? If the quarterback is going to make a decision pre-snap based on alignment, well, it's going to be pretty simple for us. We're going to take our corners and we're going to go ahead and leverage down. We're going to play bump technique. We're going to play physical in the line of scrimmage. We're going to say you are not going to play a quick game. You're not going to run smoke. You're not going to run hitch. You're not going to run quickie slant, whatever it is. And we're going to force you to make a decision to throw fade, low percentage pass. So that's number 1. That's the first thing we'll do to eliminate leverage-based RPO. The second thing we'll do is tighten down safeties. They'll get down to 4 or 5 yards, depending. That can help us defend bubble. It can help us defend any kind of stick route, any kind of quickie slant, as we talked earlier. But based on alignment, we feel that numbers in the box dictate we have an advantage. They have 5 offensive linemen. We have 6 in the box. They have to throw the ball. Well, we want to eliminate leverage by tightening down alignment. Now they're in a predicament. Now they have a conflict, and what we want to do is eliminate the conflict. Now the backside safety, whoever that bonus guy is, now we have to identify a plan for him. Where is the offense hurting us? All right, if they're going to hurt us a lot of different ways, maybe we want over-the-top help in center field. So we'll call cover 1 as an example. He'll play center field. He'll be able to help both sides of the field in some way, shape, or form. Maybe, however, we need to double team the backside isolated receiver. We can clench him. So we'll call a different coverage and tell that bonus player, look, we think we can control the box with our 6. We're going to go ahead and give help to the backside isolated. No problem. Obviously, if they give us a balanced set, a 2-by-2 set, we're going to have to change things. I'll talk about that in a little bit. But if it's 3-by-1 and they want to isolate their best athlete backside, okay, we can help to double team it. It gives us 2 options. We've got center field help. We've got backside isolation help. You could do the same front side to the 3-by if you wanted to. And the last thing is added run support. If we feel we're really good with those 4 secondary players in man, we're going to go ahead and take that bonus safety, play him down in the box where he can take away the looky slant backside on 1. He can get involved in the run game, quarterback pull, whatever it is, but we can get him down in the box for added run support in a number of different ways. So that's really how we're going to try to eliminate leverage-based RPO, bump coverage on the corners, tighten down the safeties to 5 yards on the inside receivers, and then we have to identify by game plan or adjustment during the game, what do we want to do with our bonus player? All right. So if you'll see here, we get into it, you'll notice this is a leverage-based RPOs. We're trying to eliminate the number one receivers by pressed alignment. So we're pretty good here. You see our safeties walking down up top. We're really 5 yards off number 2 and 5 yards off number 3 here. We're not in bad shape. The 6-man box is solid. Now, I don't care what you do or what we do with the 6-man box. You'll notice we've broken the stack. We've walked the backer up. We've walked this stack backer up. We're giving more of a 5-man look with a bonus backer. I'll talk more about this at the end of the presentation. And then we have a bonus player here. He can work the center field. As we talked, he can work clench over the top of number 1, or he can work in the box and be a bonus player. Again, just thought process. So you'll notice here, what are we going to try to do? Well, the offense is going to go ahead. As you notice, they're running zone read. We're going to get a vertical here with a quick under route. They've already bagged with the play action fake. I doubt they're going to run any kind of fade, which is really all we're going to kind of enable them to throw here on number 1. We got a backer closing hard. He's going to, if this quarterback pulls the ball, he's going to get hit in the mouth real fast, and we're gapped out. We want to build a wall right here with a bonus player going to fit up his own gap, the gap he has to own. So you can see, look how fast. Again, we've committed these 6 to the box. Whether we're going to blitz them really doesn't matter, but we know they're going to press that line of scrimmage right now. And on the corner, in the secondary, even though we're getting a rub right now, and I'll talk about some adjustments to rubs, you see the safeties leveraging down man on 1. Even though our middle safety's technique is terrible, he gets his shoulders turned, his feet are bad. He's a one-way player. He's still leveraging his guy. I think we're in great shape on the corners. We're in cover 1, so we have good safety help over the middle. And that's very well done. So we've accomplished a few things, taking away leverage-based. The quarterback's pulling. He's got to get rid of it quick because he's got somebody in his face right now, and we do a nice job in the secondary. All right, so let's let me move forward here. I'm not sure what just happened. All right, 2x2 sets. So all of a sudden, we get this number 3 receiver coming back to 2. For our system, it's pretty easy. We're going to tighten down our weak safety backside over number 2, which leaves us with our bonus safety is going to be our adjuster now. So these 2 have simply switched responsibilities. The game plan for our middle safety now, he can play center field. He can double team either side. So if they're going to move their go-to guy one side or the other, if they put him to the defense's left, he can work to the left. If they put him to the defense's right, he can work to the right. And then finally, added run support, same way before. He can take away shallow drag. He can help take away quick routes from number 2, and he's a bonus guy in run support. So that's the adjustment to 2x2. So if you're going to see it here, it's a little bit different. Our box is intact. We've maintained our odd stack. So before you saw one backer walk up, we're going to play all kind of games with these 6, but they're all going to gap out. So right now, we've got our corners pressed, which is going to force fade route, eliminate the quick game. We've got our safeties. We're tightened down here on the slot. Not so worried about quick game to an H-back, somebody that's tucked inside. So this safety can play off a little bit. He can still help us with Phil. And I have my bonus player in center field. So we're all in good shape right now. So let's take a little look at what we're going to get here. So right away, the quarterback makes a decision. Okay, They're going to run zone. They're going to run a little split zone action, which is fine. But the quarterback makes a decision early that he's going to go ahead and try to press us on fade. I think our corner does a great job, really plays nice technique. He's going to go ahead and punch. He's going to work offhand jam, which is great. So his coverage is really solid, and we forced a tougher throw. Now, the bigger issue for me is what kind of press do we get? You can see right now our six-man box is solid. They're all working. They're working run right now. If this backward release, our backers are sitting on that back. They're going to take him all day long is a question I'll get. But the quarterback's forced to throw a low percentage fade route. Our corner plays it well. He's in great shape, gets his head around. And we accomplish what we're trying to accomplish across the board. That's a pretty well done. Now, obviously, this is a clinic talk, so I'm trying to get good clips to give you an idea. I do have a couple clips here, as you're going to see here, with situations that don't exactly help us. So you'll notice right now, again, our six-man box is intact. We're going to stay with these six guys gapping out. We're locked up here. We're playing loose man, little loose here on the bottom. Here's my bonus safety right here. So we get bubble from 3. You see us driving on the bubble. Okay, I think we're in good shape as long as he maintains near foot, near shoulder, stays inside out. We're in good shape. I want our safety to tighten down here. Corner might want to tighten down, and we decided that our bonus safety was going to play center field over the top. So we get a lot of good things going here. We got backers playing run all day long. Offensive line is downhill. They're blocking. Got a backer playing a game with an end. So right now I'm hoping this backer off the play fake is pressuring that quarterback right now. You see how much pressure that quarterback has on him. Even though it's a run-pass option, our goal is to eliminate the time he has to throw the ball. Unfortunately, in this situation, he's able to get the ball off to the quickie slant off the bubble. And we got to finish. It's a 10-yard gain. So I think we get everything we want up front in coverage. We just have to tighten down a little bit. So again, good, the bad, and the ugly. So let's say we're having issues with rub routes, okay? Just like what you saw there. Maybe we're having an issue with bubble slant, where our safety is not closing quick enough on it. We can simply tag switch. We can signal that in. It's a man switch concept that tells the outside player, the safety, strong safety in this situation, to take the first outside threat. And it tells the middle guy, in this case, the adjuster, to take the first inside threat. It is a simple switch. I'm going to talk in a minute about our Nike check that will refer to these guys as well. But I think if you focus on it just being a simple switch check to the inside guys, it'll make more sense for you. So we have the strong safety taking the outside threat, adjuster taking the inside threat, and that weak safety is still, he can be an over-the-top center field player, but, he's game playing, right? So here's what we end up with. They run that same bubble route, that bubble slant. This is what we should end up with. If they run some kind of rub to number 2, where 3 is going to try to pick the number 2 cover guy, which would be our strong safety, maybe we would go to this. But that's how we want to adjust. Very simple switch call. It's not revolutionary. In some way, shape, or form, we all do it. But that's what we're looking at. What does it do? It eliminates rub routes. And more importantly, as I'll talk about in a minute, it can eliminate mismatches. If you've got a lesser athlete on a better athlete, you can try to adjust to this. So what does all this mean? Here's a potential conflict. Maybe we're having issues right here with these two. All these guys have to do is we signal in, switch. Number 3 will worry about the inside threat. Number 2 up here will worry about the outside threat. Oh, let me go back here. So let's play it through. So right now, we don't know what they're going to run. We do know number 1's eliminated, but we don't know what these two guys are going to run. So right away, he sees 2 coming underneath. He's going to drive on him. He's going to go ahead and assume the new outside route. So all these two have done is exchange responsibilities. For us, this is natural because we're a pattern match coverage defense, and I've got a cover 1 safety over the top that can help us out a little bit. So a couple of thoughts here. You can see how the switch really changes up and puts the offense in a little bit of a conflict, right? And you see how the switch puts them in a conflict on 2-3. All right, the quarterback hasn't seen it, so it's a change up. Now the offensive coordinator has to think a little bit longer about what he's calling and how he's doing this. The other thing is, again, if I'm worried about these 6 guys maintaining the box, they can press the run game right now. And if the quarterback does decide to pull it, he better get rid of it quickly. So see what kind of pressure right now. Boom. You see this backer working. Boom, A-gap right here. He's one-on-one with the back that never got the ball. We think that's a victory for us. So, again, just an option, just a little switch tag for us. Now, you'll notice here, we're going to play loose man on the corners. We've got a bunch set inside tight. So right now, I'm not comfortable playing cold man. They can do a lot of rub. They can release some kind of backside release over the top. We call it salt and pepper. So we're going to go ahead and play outside threat, inside threat with my 2 safeties, or we got 1 safety walk down over this heavy set, which we'll do with a backer. We still keep the 6-man box, but this safety is going to work outside threat. This safety will work inside threat. And here's my bonus player, right? He can play center field. He can work in the box, but we've got to go ahead and switch this because of alignment. So let's take a look at how this plays itself out. So you'll notice right now, physically drops, boom, we're going to play outside. If there's no outside threat, we're okay. I'm not real fond of our backside safety. He's way too loose. You can tell our bonus safety is going to be stealing off the quarterback, right? Remember how I talked earlier? He can do a lot of different things. In this situation, he's going to go ahead and cheat down, help isolate slant, take away slant front side, and just read quarterback size. So we're in pretty good shape everywhere except here. I don't like the distance. We've got to tighten down the distance if we're going to be in man coverage. And then I've got my bonus player that can take away quick slant, help out if quarterback keeps the ball. But in this situation, he tries to throw to the shallow drag, and we're in great shape underneath. Now, here's a catch here. If we're going to play center field with my bonus player, then we're in trouble on this drag. You follow me here? If I'm taking my bonus guy right here and working in the center field, I've got to get better, tighter coverage front side, and I don't get that. See how late he is to react. So, but, all things considered, we get away with that. Now it's a chess match. Is the offense going to try something different now that they've seen that? Are we going to go to cover 1, bring that safety, let him play center field? Here's the same look. Well, let me go back here. You've got 2 guys here. So right now we're going to have a safety that's going to take outside threat, safety inside threat. You'll notice my 6-man box is broken as I walk a backer up here to come off the edge. So let's go ahead and run it and see what we get here. So you'll notice physical play, boom, I drop late. I still need tighter coverage. I'm too loose on this safety. Now the nice deal is we're playing zero, so I've got my bonus safety down in the box right here. Quarterback is going to have to take a shot. He knows this safety is going to drive on the drag, so he's going to take a deep shot. But what did we talk about earlier with this six-man box? I want to press that quarterback right now. So he's gotten pressure on him right now. I'm in bad leverage on two, but the bracket's pretty good underneath. I just have to have good coverage over the top. Corner gets beat, but the ball's underthrown. Again, victory for us. All right, here's a situation when we start talking about leverage-based RPO and movement. Here's a little jet look, and I'm trying to give you guys a lot of different looks here. Here's a balanced set. Got 2x2. We're going to keep this box intact. You'll notice we got 3 down linemen, our 3 backers. Leverage-based, boom, we're eliminating any kind of quick game, and we've tightened our safeties down. Now, this is a big jet sweep team, so we've got our backers sitting heavier on stretch. As soon as these backers see jet their way, he's going to press hard right now to the stretch because he knows we've got a bonus player inside, especially if it's cover zero, that's going to go ahead and sit on quarterback pull, anything along those lines, and we're going to have a backside safety in the event they give the ball who's in man coverage that can help out. So you'll see, again, watch the jet. You're going to see our safety moving with him man. So we're moving, not moving real fast because he knows we're going to frame this with a backer. If we get crack, this safety is going to have to crack replace. But in this, our bonus safety is going to sit on quarterback because if the quarterback pulls it backside or in, he's going to have to help out. Very well done. I'll run it through one more time and then we'll move on. I just want to give you an idea of the different types of RPOs that we're going to see. Backside, it really doesn't matter what we're going to see. Smoke route, quick game, we're saying we're one-on-one with your guys, so we should be okay. So backside, doggone it. Let me fast forward this. So we get smoke backside. Smoke's a dead issue. It was dead from day one. Now, if we were playing off, maybe the quarterback goes motion, tries to throw smoke because we're playing softer, but we've already eliminated that from his pre-snap. All he's worried about right now, he's reading the end man online. He knows smoke's dead. End man online's going to close outside. He better give it. We're already in pretty good leverage front side with bonus guys tracking backside. All right. Okay, so we already talked about the switch check. Some of the things we do, and it's no different if you have outside receivers. So if we have a 2-receiver threat outside, anytime we're afraid of rub concept, that I'll show you some clips. Again, if we're playing RPO teams and they want to go ahead and run some semblance of smoke wheel, they may have to Nike check it and play inside out. So all we do here is corner's going to assume outside threat. Now the offense is to the defense's left here. So the corner will take the first outside threat. Safety's going to take the first inside threat here. And all they have to do is wait until it shakes itself out and it's predetermined. So in other words, we drop off of this. If we get some kind of vertical mesh to rub, The corner will take that first outside threat on the right, and the safety takes the first inside threat. No different from what we're doing with our switch tag with the inside guys. This would be the outside guys. Same deal on an inside rub. If that number 2 presses to a corner and we mesh to rub with number 1, they just simply reverse it. Again, nothing revolutionary, but again, things that get into our thought process. So if you take a look at this situation here, if we get into the boundary, they squeeze us, maybe these two want to play this off. They want to go ahead and play inside out. This can be a simple Nike check to these two. Keep it simple. We have room here so they can go ahead and play base, but maybe we get a Nike check on the bottom. So all of a sudden we get wheel, or we get some kind of smoke. Corner better play off, worrying about the wheel off of this, and the safety better drive. So they are not involved in the run game, right? Run pass option, they've got to worry about the pass option if they're a man cover player. The box has to take care of the run game, which they do. And what do we do with the bonus safety here? He's in zero coverage. He's going to be involved in the run game right now. He's our bonus guy. So getting back to it, we're gapping out with these 6. We're going to have a 7th player somewhere that has to help us. In this situation, it's our zero cover safety that helps make a play on that. All right, so that's Nike to 2 outside guys. If we get a trip set, we'll bunch it sometimes if we need to do this. So again, anytime we're going to get some type of rub by a 3-by deal, corner will assume outside, middle safety take the intermediate, and that inside guy will take the inside threat. So it's outside, intermediate, inside threat. They have to communicate. Verbal signals, hand signals, we're going to use them. But that 6, I guess the purpose I'm making here, or the point I want to make here, guys, is the box doesn't change. We can change how we play our man coverage based on a Nike check, a bunch check, or a switch call. I think that's the most important thing. So let's see, possible rub concepts. We're going to get our 3 drop, maybe an outside rub to number 2, slow release vertical with an outside rub and a vertical post. Good. Corner will take that rub flat. Safety will take the intermediate vertical. And then that middle adjuster is going to take that vertical post to a crossing route. Very simple. All right. So that's really thought 1. Thought 1 is maintain the box, 6-man box, and play man coverage. So we've talked about a number of different ways we can play man coverage, whether it's cold man, whether it's a switch check, whether it's a Nike check, whether it's a bunch check. And this is teaching from day 1. Then the next thought process is move into eliminating a key player in the pass option. So you think about the national championship game, Alabama versus Ohio State, and Alabama has, without question, the best player in the country, in Devontae, the best player in the country. Well, if you want to eliminate him, let's identify where he aligns. So you'll notice the box is intact, right? I'm going to keep the 6-man box. What we have to do is identify where he lines up. For our purposes, I've labeled the nickel back here as the cover guy. So if we maintain our 5 across safety set, this nickel is going to be my cover guy. So we're going to identify where the key threat is. We're going to identify him as a rat. So this could be rat coverage for us. So let's say he lines up as number 3. We're going to take that nickel safety and we're going to play bump man on him. We're going to, by leverage, we're going to eliminate the leverage-based RPO, and we're going to say we're going to take our best player, and he's going to play bump man on your best player all day long, and we're going to give him help over the top. Maybe he lines up as number 2. Doesn't change for us. We're still going to bump press, take him away. Maybe he goes all the way backside. He's isolated. Number one, we're going to play bump man on him all day long. So the premise for that nickel player or whomever you identify as the guy you want to take care of the key threat, he's going to play bump man. It's that simple. Now, the question for us is, where's the passing strength? Because we have to rotate to the passing strength with the remaining secondary. Right? So we're going to have a center field safety. We're going to have a seam defender. Front side reads 2 to 3. The biggest issue when we identify the key threat is there are times we're going to have to break this 6-man box. So now the question becomes, is that key threat more important to stop than it is having 6 men in the box to stop the run? So if it's a passing team, the run game's not as good, maybe the offensive line is suspect, we're going to go ahead, identify the key threat, take him away. Now we're going to have to break the box. This backer's going to have to leverage 3, right? But we don't have to include the rat in the count. We're always numbering receivers, 1, 2, 3 from outside in. So front side, you'll see 1, 2, 3, backside, 1, 2, 3. We never include the quarterback, obviously. So if he's backside, now what we know is that jet backer has to play the whole 3 to 2. All right. So the switch concept is in play for us. These two will switch this off all day long. Why? Well, you're going to see the jet's not as athletic. We don't want him running with 3 on a flat route, especially if he's going to get rubbed. It'll make it much easier for these two to exchange these routes. That's that switch concept we talked about. All right, if the rat aligns to a 3-by-1 set, it's pretty simple. The seam defender now has to adjust. We're not accounting for 2. He can read 2 here. So if 2 goes, if 2's going flat, he'll jump him. If 2 crosses, he'll deliver. What we're trying to do is give the illusion that we're going to give this nickel safety help all over the place. The jet backer now can stay inside. He doesn't have to get any width. He can still help in run support, even though he's going to be an inside player, but he'll leverage 3. Since we're not accounting for the key threat, remember that 1, 2, the number 3 becomes the back. He can stay inside because number 3 is his immediate threat. Just a thought. So what do we have here? Let's take a look at it. Rat lines up to number 3. So we're in the slot. He's on number 3. We're going to eliminate him, bump man with that nickel safety. All right. So you'll notice here, the offense is going to go ahead and run a bubble with number 3. Wait up. Doggone it. Let me go back here. Let's run this again. They're going to run bubble while running zone away. By alignment or leverage, we've really taken this away. They really have this quarterback has no choice. If we played off, I'm sure he would have pulled and thrown bubble. But instead, he has to give the ball. And what's he giving it to? He's giving it to our 6-man box. Here's our bonus safety backside. He's eliminated. We're responsible for 1, responsible for 2. We're in good shape. 3's eliminated. Backer can stay a little bit tighter because he knows that the rat's number 3. We gap out. We do a good job of stopping that run with the 6-man box. All right. In this situation, let's go back. Same deal. You're going to notice rat's in number 3. We're going to align tight to him. So you can see our nickel safety playing tight. Doesn't matter what he gets. Boom, go. Does a great job of moving on it. We've eliminated it by leverage, forced to run the ball. Again, we thought we were better up front. I think our 6-man box does a great job of gapping out. Got a bonus safety backside. He's unblocked. Doesn't have to finish because we do a great job with the 6-man box. but our bonus guy takes care of that. Now, again, there's the best athlete on the field. He's eliminated by leverage. They're going to be forced to put him in the backfield, move him around, motion, different ways, but we've accomplished what we wanted to accomplish. So here's a situation where the rat lines up isolated backside. You'll notice our nickel safety is already pre-aligned. In theory, I'd love this safety to make it look like two shell. I'd love these two, this corner, to make it look like a two shell inside leverage, even though he knows he's going to play over the top. And I wish this safety would play inside out. Now, you'll notice the communication that's going to take place right here between the adjuster and the backer. The backer has to displace. There's going to be a switch call between the safety and the backer, because obviously backer on number 3 slot could be a mismatch, which means the safety has to help out over the top. You'll see him communicate this. He's talking, he's listening, he's starting to displace. Okay, whereas he is technically a pass first player, he needs to get in the window. This backer knows he'll have help over the top. Let me go forward here. We're eliminating the threat up top. So really what we're saying is you have to throw to these front 3 guys. You ain't going to throw the ball here. We're going to say our box, this 5-man box with a potential overlay and late fill from a safety, is going to stop the run. But you can see the key player ain't getting the ball. It's not going to happen. They're going to have to throw away from the guy they want to carry the ball. And we're better up front. So here's another situation again at the bottom. You see how we're taking away the rat. I want to work. We've got to do better of working this corner closer to the hash over the top here, so that he can help backside alley on run support. He can help if the quarterback goes front side. He can be a help front side. But backer displaced, switch call here, safety over the top. Should be in good shape. Okay, terrible technique from our nickel safety, but they're not throwing the ball here. They're looking at it up top. So what does the quarterback do? He's going to try to look at stick route. We're not asking our backer to play solid man. He simply has to get in a window. He knows he has help over the top. We've taken that away. We finish. So again, I'll let it run through. Hopefully you're getting a feel for how we're trying to eliminate the go-to receiver and the adjustments that we have to make with a switch call to make it work. Okay, so here's a situation. We get a 2-by-2 set. Right now you can tell that the rat is to the short side in the slot. That's where we're going to play. Safety's going to have to work over top of the threat. So he'll know right now. He's communicating, hey, you're alone, man. You're going to be on an island front side because the rat's backside. That's the communication that's taking place. Box is going to stay intact. So ball snapped. We're still looking. Quarterback says, the heck with it. I'm getting rid of it quick. All right. Should have been completed. But, again, we're going to drive on it. And I'm willing to if this guy can beat us, fine. We don't think he can. We're not letting the rat beat us, the best player on the field. So, again, as you see, man, we've got him tripled all over the place. So that's a thought process. All right, so we go from step 1, maintaining a 6-man box, playing man coverage, multiple versions of it, to the second thought process. Do they have a go-to receiver we have to take out of the game? Who's the rat? To our final thought process, and we have to get better at this. And I think this is the game changer. This is the Alabama, Nick Saban. We are going to confuse your RPO by giving you so many different looks, and you're never going to know who the conflict player is. We've got to get better at this. Eliminate the conflict player by changing the run fits from the 6+ man box. So what I want to do is just talk to you here about how we try to disguise the run fits with the different players. And it's not schematic. It doesn't matter if you're an odd stack, 3-4 or a 4-by. We're going to still take the principle that we're going to play man coverage. Maybe now the jet's going to be man on number 3. That adjuster is going to be our bonus safety. And we're going to take that backside safety and make him part of the 6-man run fit, right? So we know a few things that are going on right now. First of all, front side, because we are utilizing a different player in the run fit, the mismatch is with this jet backer on 3. We've already talked about that ad nauseum. So what does that mean? That means we automatically get a switch call, inside, outside, and we have to play some semblance of a cover 1 or some deal where this bonus safety is over the top, helping this jet to take away the mismatch. Right? We talked about that early in this presentation. We already know that. So that's step 1.
Hey, Coach. This is Alyssa with Huddle. We have just wanted to let you know we have about 5 minutes left.
Okay, I'm almost done here. We're good.
Perfect.
Melissa.
All right, thank you.
Okay. So let's say we flip backside, guys. Number 2 weak. The will backer plays him man. We're still utilizing this weak safety in the run fit. So you can see the 6-man run fit's different. Here's our mismatch, right? With the will backer on 2. So the bonus safety now knows he's going to have to rotate coverage to the mismatch and help out. We're going to have to play some semblance of cover 1 if we're going to disguise the run fits. So let me push through this, and I'll try to answer questions when we're done. Let's say we call what we call Oregon. We go ahead and play a game. We displace the backer. It creates a conflict for the quarterback. Right now, he's going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 men in the box. Technically, this is a give. He's going to give this. But what we've simply done by this displacement, we really didn't change the 6-man box. This is what our Oregon blitz looks like. It's still going to be the 6-man box, gapping out with 2 edge blitzes from the Sam and the Will. We're going to twist the nose in the end, short stick that backside end. Mike knows he has to fit a gap. That's our gap out. In the secondary, we're going to play that man coverage concept with our bonus player. If we call cover 0, that weak safety will be in the box as additional run support. We've seen that before. So what does it look like on film? There's our box. It's 5 men because we've displaced that safety, which changes the thought process for the quarterback. Yet the blitz comes late, forces a quick throw. We're in pretty good shape. Once again, why does he throw backside? Leverage based. If we went ahead and pressed the corner and bubble, I'm guessing he would have given the ball, right? But my point is, we created a little conflict. You can see up top, we're still playing that man scheme. We didn't switch it. If we switched it, number 2 would have driven. He would have stayed under 1. That's one example. So let's take a look at another example. By alignment, we're going to run what we call our blitzes are based on states, cities, and mascots. So right now, we still have this displacement, right? This is going to cause some controversy for the quarterback. The blitz, however, is still going to keep this box intact. We're still going to play man coverage with our 5-man secondary with a bonus player. If we call 0 coverage, he's in the box. So here's another sample of it. Here's our bonus player. He's going to be in a box man. There's the blitz. It's the same look up top with the man coverage, right? We're driving on bubble. We're man here. We're man here. Here's my bonus safety. He's sitting on run all day long. So not only do we do a good job of gapping out with our front, we get great support from our safety backside. All right, so what do we have here? Iowa, same deal. We give the same look with the displacement, only it's a different blitz. Coverage behind, it's going to be man, but we're going to play cover one this time. Instead of playing zero and keeping that safety in the box, he'll be a help over the top to bottom. So what will this look like? So take a look at it. We broke the box. We're coming off the edge. These 6 are involved in run support. We're man on a tight end. We're man on a slot. We're man on the corners. And I have help in center field. Just, again, we're giving them multiple looks. Here's my center field help. Not bad, but we get great pressure. He can flash fake, whatever he wants. We're in pretty good shape. All right, Hawkeye, the Iowa Hawkeyes. So now we're going to bring a safety down and blitz him off the edge. So another look, just a little different. We're going to blitz him off the edge. We're going to have to play man coverage, cover one. But you know right now, what do we have here? We have a mismatch, right? Automatically, we got to play a switch call. These two are going to have to switch inside out. We got safety help over the top. We got to help this mismatch with the linebacker. So you'll see it here. Safety coming off the edge. Boom, switch call. Backer's looking for any kind of threat. You'll see the safety come over the top on the wheel. Rallies inside out. Just trying to change the fits. The last one I'll give you, weak Des Moines. We're going to come weak side and bring that weak side safety. All right, so we're going to bring the 6-man box from the weak side. Mike Backer knows he's the 6-man player. We have an automatic switch front side with the backer. The bonus player, the safety, has to play center field over the top and cover one to protect the mismatch. Pretty good stuff. So you'll see it coming here. There's a switch. This is a great look at the mismatch. Back safety does a bad job. I think the quarterback, it's a tough route, run a little corner from 3. That safety's got to get over the top quicker to protect that backer. So again, just different looks, guys, trying to show you what we're trying to accomplish. And here's a little corner blitz. Maybe we want to go cowboy. And that's how we would man up. The 6-man box is intact. We've got a switch call here. Got a bonus player over the top, but you'll see it. We got a mismatch on 3, so safety has to stay over the top. We're pressing the backs or getting pressure. Again, just trying to change up the 6-man box and how we're teaching these guys from the get-go. Now, even though this backer's involved in run support, he sees the back go, shoot, go. That's a guy I'm taking care of anyway. All right. So back to the beginning. You'll see on the screen my contact information, my email, specht@stxavier.org. Or if you look at the number, 513-761-7600, extension 325. It's how to get a hold of me, guys. None of this is revolutionary. As I said at the beginning of the presentation, we have visited with so many good people that have given us a lot of great ideas, and we've taken a lot of different concepts and ideas and boiled it down to what our philosophy is. Hopefully this helps you. We'd love to help you more. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me at the information in front of you. I wish you luck in the future here down the road. I'm honored to be here and talk to you, and thank you very much.